In this video, we're going to go through on Maha Bodhi School 2024 end of year examination, Primary 5 Mathematics Paper 1. So let's get started on the first question. So question 1. So it says here 60 what is 69,012 in numerals? Okay, so let's break down into two parts. So 69,000 1 2 3, and then we also have the number 12. Right. So if I were to do a working on this, all right, it will look something like this, right? 69,000 plus 12 over here. So if I were to draw a rectangle just to make it easier for us to put in our different numbers as such. Okay, so in this case, what you want to do is you just put 0 plus 12 is 12. Okay, and then you just put the rest of the number, which is 690. Okay, in this case over here. That's it. So now you just need to find this exact number, which is in this case number 2. All right, let's move on to the next question. Which of question number 2? Which of the following has the same value as 84,000 divided by 60? So in this case over here, all right, what we can do is okay. So now it's easy. Everything is divide ish. So what you're gonna do is it's equal to 84,000, and then basically 60. You can break it up to, in this case, 60 divided sorry, in this case, if you put 3, then it's divided by 20, right? Okay, so essentially this is how it looks like, right? So 60 over here, let me make it smaller, is the same as 3 divided by 20. So I see over here. Okay, so with this, can we find exactly what we see over here? The answer is number 3, right? So 3 divided by 20 is 8,400 divided 3 divided by 20. That's what I see over here, right? Okay, so pretty straightforward. All right, so let's move on. I'll just put here 60 is similar to 3 times 20, but swap multiply with divide, okay, which is the divide sign over here. Okay, right, something like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna put like this. 60 is okay. I'm just gonna put this as a box so it's easier for everyone to see. Okay, right, something like this. Okay, so hints over here. Let's move on to question number 3. It says here, simplify the expression 72 divided by 12 minus 8 times 3 plus 6. Okay, so this is order of operations. So number 1, you will brackets, right? Do everything in the brackets. Then number 2 is you multiply or divide left to right. And then number 3, you add or subtract from left to right. Add or subtract from left to right. From left to right. In this case over here. Okay, so brackets is also the same lah. From left to right, brackets. Right, if you have two brackets, then same. Okay, order of operations, right? So in this case over here, if I were to put it an equal sign, so we do the brackets first. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight this 12 divided by 8. Okay, so in this case, not 12 divided by 8, is 12 minus 8. So 72, and then you divide by 12 minus 8 is 12 minus 8 is 4. 4. You times 3 plus 6. Okay, so when you see this kind of thing, divide and times, right? So you do from left to right. So what is 72 divided by 4? This should be 72 divided by 4 is 36. No, it's not 36, it's 18. Right? So if I were to, if I were to do the workings, okay, so you see the workings over here. So we have 4. Okay, we just minus 4 in this case over here. So minus 4, this will then become 1. Okay, and then 7 minus 4 is 3. They put 2 down. Okay, so we can get 32 by multiplying 4 by 8. So 32 minus 32, and then this will become 0. Okay, pretty straightforward. So this is will be 18, right? So 72 divided by 4 is 18. Then you multiply by 3 plus 6. Okay, so in this case, so shift D, oops, so I want to highlight, right? 72 divided by 4 first, and then 18 times 3 second. So 18 times 3 is, if I'm not wrong, it should be 54, but I have to double confirm on this, right? Plus 6 in this case. So let me do the workings. All right, so you have 18 times 3. So in this case, 18 times 3 will become 24. I'll put a space here. Okay, so 24, we'll put 2 at the top, make it a little bit smaller. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2, 5. 54. Okay, so this is correct over here. All right, so 54, and then we can do the final one. This will be 60. So the answer to this is number 3. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. Write 4 out of 25 as a decimal. Okay, so 4 out of 25, most of the time, usually easier way to do decimal is to make denominator either 10, 100, or 1000. Okay, so the easier way to do decimal to do, okay, easier way to convert fraction to decimal is to make, let me just make this into one whole line, right? Okay, so why is because it's just easier lah. Nothing new to this, so I'm just gonna put like this. Okay, so in this case over here, let me make it this a little bit smaller, right? I don't know why is there a white space over here. Okay, so for this, we'll just put 4 out of 25. Okay, and then what we need to do, okay, this is equal to, so for 25, what's the closest? This should be 100 lah. Okay, so you times 4 for the denominator in this case. So what will this become? This will become something, right? Something out of 100. So we also need to multiply the numerator, and 4 times 4 is 16. So 16 out of 100, what would this become? Okay, this will then become 16 divided by 100 is 0.16. So what's the answer for this? Is number 2. Okay, for question 4. Right, so if you don't know how to divide by 100, basically count the numbers of 0. Okay, count number 0, 1, 2, and then have the decimal point to move to the left. So 1, 2, then 0.16 in this case over here. Okay, all right, so let's move on to question number 5. Okay, question number 5 says, in the number 7.568, which digit is the 10th place? Right, so basically, let's, go through. So 7 is the ones place, and then 0.5. Okay, so common mistake is people will put 0.5 as 1th place. No, no such thing as 1th, right? See, no such thing as 1th place. So this should be the 10th place. 0.06 to just go through, right? This is, right, you guessed it, 100th place. So 10th place is because you divide it by 10, right? 10th place divide by 10. 100 place you divide by 100. That's why you get this, right? Okay, 100. Okay, that's the reason why they call it 100 place. And then for the last one is 0.008. This is the 1000th place, which is divided by 1000. Okay, so with this, what is the 10th place? Which digit? Digit 5. So the answer is number 1. Okay, let's move on to the next question. It says here, find the area of the shaded triangle. Okay, so area of shaded triangle is equal to half times base times height. Okay, so what's the base over here? The base is 4 centimeters because it's a shaded one. What's the height? 9 centimeters. Okay, with this half times 4, this will be 2 centimeters times 9 centimeters equal to 18 centimeter square. There you go. The answer to this is 1. Okay, some people might be confused. They use 12 or even combine 4 and 12. So in this case, another note I would say is base must be solid line. Line over here. Okay, base must be solid line. That's it, right? And then base must be solid line. Next part is height is line perpendicular to base. Okay, so I'm gonna put this as next line like this. So one dot and then two dots. Okay, base must be solid line. Okay, very good. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 7. Okay, the figure is made out of 20 identical triangles. What percentage of the figure is shaded? You got 1, you got 2, you got 3, you got 4. Okay, so basically first step is you want to convert this into a fraction. So 4 of 20 is the fraction for the uh, shaded lah. Okay, shaded. Okay, so shaded, oops, I just put here shaded equal to 4 of 20. Okay, you got 4 on 20, and then we multiply this by 100%. Okay, so we can cancel stuff out. Okay, so you can cancel 20, and then you also can cancel 100, and this will then become 5. So this will then, oops, okay, then I'll just put equal. So basically 4 times 5% is equal to 20%. That's about it. So the answer to this for question number 7 is number 2 over here. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Question number 8. Okay, so in this case, it says here a machine can print 3 posters in 2 minutes. At this rate, how many posters can it print in 18 minutes? Okay, so 2 minutes, okay, will print 3 posters. Okay, 1 minute, it will print how many posters? You divide by 2, right? So 3 and then divide by 2 in this case over here. Hee hee. All right, posters, right? And then 18 minutes. This is how I usually do it. All right, is basically 18, right, times 3 divided by 2. Okay. All right. Yeah. So in this case over here, yeah, you can just do this. 18 divided by 2 times 3. Okay. Same. Say 18 divided by 2 times 3. Yeah. Okay lah, you can solve this, all right? And then basically this is the same as if you have 18 divided by 2 times 3. Can swap things around, doesn't really affect that much. Okay, and then this will be 18 divided by 2 is 9 times 3 equal to 27. There you go. So in this case I'll just put like this so it's easier to see. All right, so 27 posters. So the answer to this is 27. Here you go. So option number 4. Okay, let's move on to question number 9. Jamie had 200 green and yellow marbles. 40% of the marbles are green. How many green marbles did he have? Okay, so we have 200, 40% are green. We want green. So green, pass you. Okay, anyway, so green is equal to 40%. Okay, times, 200 times 40%. Okay, which is the same as 200 times 40 out of 100. Okay, 100. All right, so then we can do cancellations. So cancel the 100 and then cancel the 2, and this will then become 2. So 2 times 4, and what will this become? Oops. Okay, this will become 2 times 4 t, which is 80. So how many marbles are green? 80, which is option number 3. Okay, let's move on to question number 10. We are on a roll. A solid cuboid of height 10 centimeters has a square base of 6 centimeters. Find its volume. Okay, so square base is this here, right? So square base means uh, length and breadth is same, is the same, right? Square base means over here, square base means length and breadth is the same. So this is 6 centimeters. That means this over here. All right. It's also equal to 6 centimeter. So in this case, what's the volume, right? So volume is equal to length times breadth times height, which is 6 times 6 times 10, 36 times 10, which is equal to 360 centimeter cube in this case over here. So this will be the answer, 360 centimeter cube. All right, let's move on to question 11. So in the figure, AOC, and BOD are straight lines. Okay, so I'm going to draw a straight line. So AOC, right, is a straight line. And then BOD over here is also a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to also draw a line. So at least you know this. Okay, here we go. Right. So, what is the angle ODC? So normally what you'll do is that since so angle right, in this case over here, angle AOB is equal to angle DOC, right? DOC, which means both of them are 75 degrees, right? So now we can just minus, right? So angle DOC, ODC. So angle ODC is equal to 180 minus 75 minus 59 degrees. Okay, and what would this be equal to? So 180 minus this will then be 105 minus 59. Okay, so 10 is 5. Yeah, I need to do working, but essentially 5, 15, 6, 46. Right, so I'm gonna do the workings. Okay, so over here 5 cannot be minus 9, so I cancel 10. This will then be 9 over here. All right, and then 5 minus, so and then I'll put 1 beside 15. Make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so you have 15 minus 9, and this will then become let me just put this all to the left. So 15 minus 9 equal to 6, and then 9 minus 5 is 4. Okay, so it's 46 degrees. Okay, so it's 46 then degrees over here. So that means 46 degrees. All right, for question 11 is option number 1. So I'm going to draw really quickly on this as well. So 75 degrees is also on the opposite side. So opposite angles with two straight lines like this are the same. All right, let's move on to question 12. Okay, so in the figure below is formed by cutting a rectangle from a square. Find the parameter of the figure. That's what you see over here. Okay, so essentially we just want to get the parameter. So we know that this is 25 centimeters. Centimeters in this one. Okay, so we can also say the same as this as well, right? Okay, so we also know that this is 15 centimeters. So I'm gonna draw this 15. All right, so this is 15 centimeters. Okay, in this case, right? So then, what would these two lines be? Okay, so actually, we technically this whole thing is also 25 centimeters. Okay, so no matter what, I would say we just need to add these two. So this is the same as if I were to put the line over here, right? So I'll put 18 over here, and then I'll also put another line, but this time is blue. So this one, and then the line over here, this one. So right, we don't have to like guess what this is, because if we move over here, then this whole thing itself will also be 25 centimeters. Okay, so in this case, we will just need to calculate the total of everything else. Okay, so parameter, okay, is equal to, right, 25 times 4 plus 15 times 2. Okay, so it's 100 plus 30 equal to 130 centimeter in this case over here, right? So basically this whole thing, right, will just be, let me, if I were to quickly put it here, so the red will be here, the blue will be here. Oops. The blue will be here. And then I'll say green lah. Then the green will also be here. Right? And these are also 25 centimeter. That makes sense, right? All right. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so let's move on. I think I can put it here. Okay. Let's move on to question 13. Says here, there were 21 boys in primary 5 integrity. The number of boys were 7 more than the number of girls. Find the ratio of the number of girls to the number of pupils in primary 5 integrity. So in this case, if I were to just say boys, right, and then we have girls. Okay, so let me just space them out. If we were to draw a simple model, so boys, girls, non-boys were 7 more. Okay, so in essence, there's 7 more boys in this case, right? I put 7, make this a little bit smaller. So there are 7 more boys than the number of girls. And then basically, this is 21 boys in this case over here. Sorry, there were 21 boys in primary 5 integrity. Number of boys were 7 more than number of girls. Okay, so the ratio of number of girls to the total number, right? So girls is equal to 21 minus 7, which is 14. Okay, and then after that, I'll put this over here lah, so it's easier. Girls is this, and then what about the total? So total is equal to 14 plus 21 equal to 35. So we want to get the girls to the total number. So girls to the total, which is equal to, in this case, 14, right, to 35 in this case over here. So can we simplify this? Of course. So we can divide by what? Right? What is the common multiple? 7, right? Divide by 7 for both cases, right? And this will then become what? What do you think? 14 divided by 7 is 2. 35 divided by 7 is 5. So in this case, it will become 2 is to 5. So that means this is option number 2. Okay. Question 14. So in the number line, what is likely to be the value of A when rounded in the nearest decimal place? So first, we need to get the number of gaps. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have 8, what do you call this? So we have 8 gaps is equal to 1. So 7 to 8 is 1. So 1 gap is equal to 1 divided by 8 over here, right? So don't know whether you know what 1 divided by 8 is, but if you were to guess, let me just do the workings over here. So you see there is 8 and 1.0 because we're gonna have some decimal place. So we cannot have 1 minus 8, so we're gonna put 0 point, okay? And then we can now use minus 8 for this 1.0 in this case. So 10 minus 8, so this will give us 2, right? So 2, okay, so for this is 1. So we cannot minus 2 from 8, so we have 0, 20, and then we can minus 16, which is 2 times 8, which is 16. And then lastly, for this, we will then have 4. So we cannot have 4 minus 8. We add another 0, then we minus 40. Okay, and in this case, 40 is basically 5. So the answer to this is 0. The answer to this is 0.125. So one gap is 1 divided by 8, which is also equal to 0.125. 1 to 5. So how many gaps, right? For A, right, A is very close to. So this is 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap, 4 gap, 5 gap. So this is 5 gaps. 5 gaps here in this case. So that means 0. So 5 gaps is equal to 0.125 times 5. Okay. So this is the 5 gaps here. So if you were to do multiplication, it will look something like this. So correct. So that means 5 times 5 is 5. Then we put 2 over here on top. So 25, right? 5 times 25. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2 is 12. So you're going to put 2. and then on top of 2, I'm going to put 1 on top of 1. So 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 is 6. So 6 to 5. Okay, so 0.625 in this case over here. All right, so we're going to put here as 0.625. Okay, so in this case, 5 gaps is equal to 0.625. So that means A is very close to 7.625 or 6 to 5, something like that. Okay, so with this, which one do you think the answer is? So 7.625 is over here, right? It's at a point. So if it's before, so A is before the number 7.625. So that means A is not 7. A is not 7.625, right? So that means it will be around like 4 like that. So A is not 7.625. That means A, when rounded to 2 decimal place, so A is equal to, or I'll put curly brackets, 7.62. A is before 7, so A is not 7. That means A, when rounded to 2 decimal place, will be 7.62, and the answer to this is 3. Whew. All right, let's move on to the last question. Okay, so each of the pupils in Fine Kindness voted one activity as their favorite hobby. The bar graph below shows the result. Okay, so you have reading, playing games, playing sports, and listening to music. Which of the following statement is true? Half of the boys in the class likes reading. Okay, so in this case, we don't know what's the number of pupils, but we can assume. So let's assume this for every line is just one, because it's simpler lah. Okay, 1, 2. So it doesn't say how many total number of pupils. That's fine. So you have 3. Okay, and this is 4, right? And then this is 5. Okay, in this case, right? So we just put random numbers, not random. So it just assume 1, 2, 3. So in the reading, so there's 3 for boys and girls. For playing games, this is 4, and this is 2, right? Okay, and then playing sports will be 2 as well. And then for girls is 1, and then for listening is 1, and then for this is 2. That's what I see over here. Okay, so in this case, we will just have uh total boys is equal to, so in this case, we have 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 10, right? So 7 plus 3, 10. Okay, total boys is 10. And then reading, 3. So reading is 3. So this one, so in this case, reading is 3 equal to 3. Boys uh, reading, likes reading, is equal to 3. So that means 3 out of 10 of boys is not half. Okay, for that we will just this is wrong lah, right? So this is an X. Okay, so X, oops. Oh, okay, either way, this one is wrong. Okay, 3 out of 10 of boys is not okay. There is an equal number of boys and equal girls, right? So total girls, okay, total girls. Okay, this one's red, total girls will be 2, 1, 2, 3, right? So or 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2, and this will become I call this 5, 8. Okay, so nope as well. Total girls, right? Girls is not, right? The most popular hobby for the class is playing games, right? So games total is 6, but reading is also 6. Okay, so I will say uh, so popular hobby for the class is this. So reading, total reading is equal to 6. Total playing games is equal to 6 as well, right? So in this case, for this, that means this is wrong as well. Right, an equal number of pupils in the class like playing sports and listening to music. Right, this way. Okay, so total reading, total playing, but total sports. Okay, this one total reading is 3 plus 3 lah. 3 plus 3 equal to 6. Right, and then this one is 4 plus 2 equal to 6. Total playing sports is 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Listening to total for music is equal to 1 plus 2, and this is equal to 3. So that means in this case over here, the answer to this is 4. So 4 is a tick. So this is the correct answer. That's what you see over here. Okay, so I'm going to push this down. Wow, a lot lah, purposely. Alright, that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Right, if you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what other papers you want me to go through next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.